In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, power is everything. Sorcerers spend their entire lives mastering cursed energy, refining techniques, and pushing their abilities to the limit. The stronger your cursed energy, the stronger the sorcerer. Entire clans build their reputations around powerful inherited techniques. And the Jujutsu world revolves around those who possess the greatest supernatural power. But there was one man who completely broke that system. A man who had absolutely no cursed energy at all, yet still managed to defeat the strongest sorcerer alive. His name was Toji Fushiguro, and he would eventually become known throughout the Jujutsu world as the Sorcerer Killer. Toji was born into the powerful Zenin clan, one of the most respected families among Jujutsu sorcerers. The Zenin valued strength above everything else, especially powerful cursed techniques passed down through their bloodline. However, from the moment Toji was born, it was clear that he was different. Unlike everyone around him, Toji possessed no cursed energy whatsoever. Not a small amount, not weak cursed energy, but none at all. To the Zenin clan, this meant that Toji was useless. He had no technique, no spiritual power, and no place within a family that defined itself through sorcery. As a result, Toji was treated as an outcast and looked down upon by the very clan he was born into. But what the Zenin family failed to realize was that Toji's condition came with a rare phenomenon, known as heavenly restriction. Heavenly restriction removes something from a person in exchange for granting them extraordinary abilities elsewhere. In Toji's case, his cursed energy had been completely erased, but in return, his physical body became something far beyond human. His strength, speed, reflexes, and senses were pushed to levels that ordinary people could never reach. While other sorcerers relied on cursed techniques and supernatural energy, Toji relied on raw physical ability and pure combat skill. His movements were so fast that even experienced sorcerers struggled to keep up with him. His senses became so sharp that he could detect curses and danger without relying on cursed energy at all. In a world dominated by supernatural power, Toji became a warrior who fought using nothing but instinct, strategy, and overwhelming physical strength. Over time, this made him incredibly dangerous to the very people who once rejected him. Eventually, Toji left the Zenin clan behind completely. Instead of becoming a Jujutsu sorcerer, he chose a very different path. Toji became a professional assassin, but he was not an ordinary assassin. His targets were often the most powerful individuals in the Jujutsu world, sorcerers themselves. Because he had no cursed energy, most sorcerers could not sense him approaching. This gave Toji a massive advantage. By the time his enemies realized he was there, it was often already too late. Combined with his incredible speed and physical strength, Toji became one of the most feared killers in the underground world of Jujutsu. That is when he earned the name that would define his legend, the Sorcerer Killer. Any supernatural power it touched would instantly be cancelled. Toji also carried a collection of deadly cursed tools specifically designed to fight sorcerers. Among them was one of the most dangerous weapons ever created, the Inverted Spear of Heaven. This weapon had a terrifying ability. It could completely nullify cursed techniques. Against most sorcerers, this weapon alone was already devastating. But in the hands of someone like Toji, it became truly lethal. Eventually, Toji accepted a mission that would become one of the most famous incidents in the history of the Jujutsu world. A large bounty had been placed on a young girl known as the Star Plasma Vessel. Her role was incredibly important, and because of that, she was being protected by two elite sorcerers. One of them was a young prodigy named Satoru Gojo. The other was his close friend and fellow sorcerer Suguru Geto. Even at a young age, Gojo was already considered a once-in-a-generation genius. His abilities made him nearly untouchable. Many believed that no one could defeat him. But Toji saw something others didn't. Instead of rushing into battle, he carefully studied Gojo and observed his behavior. He knew that even the strongest sorcerer in the world was still human. Humans get tired. Humans lose focus. So Toji created a plan. He allowed bounty hunters and smaller enemies to constantly attack Gojo for days. These attacks were not meant to defeat him. They were meant to exhaust him. Over time, Gojo was forced to remain on high alert, fighting again and again without proper rest. Slowly but surely, fatigue began to build. Then, when the moment was perfect, Toji made his move. In a sudden and brutal ambush, he attacked using the Inverted Spear of Heaven. For the first time in his life, Gojo's infinity was bypassed. The technique that normally made him untouchable could no longer protect him. In that brief moment of vulnerability, Toji struck with incredible speed and precision. The strongest sorcerer alive was defeated. It was a moment that shocked the entire Jujutsu world. A man who possessed no cursed energy at all had managed to defeat the most powerful sorcerer of his generation. For a brief moment in history, the entire power system of the Jujutsu world had been turned upside down by a single man. Although Toji's story did not last forever, his impact on the world was massive. His battle with Gojo forced the young sorcerer to grow stronger and eventually become the legendary figure known throughout the modern Jujutsu world. But Toji's legacy did not end there. Years later, his son would inherit one of the most dangerous abilities in the series, the Ten Shadows technique. That son would grow up to become the powerful sorcerer known as Megumi Fushiguro. And that's the story of the man who defeated Satoru Gojo. Without cursed energy, no flashy techniques, just pure instinct, speed, and the will to kill. And yet, he took down the strongest sorcerer of his era. But here's the real question. If Toji were alive today, would he still be able to defeat Gojo? Or would the strongest sorcerer finally win? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoy discovering hidden tier anime characters like this one, trust me, the next one is even crazier.